It was a quiet afternoon in the classroom. Children's laughter, whispers, and playful talk filled the air. But suddenly, the noise stopped and all eyes turned in one direction, towards Aryan. Aryan held a new pencil in his hand. Smiling naughtily, he said to his friend Smith, "This is mine now. You already have others." Tears came into Smith's eyes. In a shaking voice, he said, "But Aryan, my mother gave this to me yesterday as a gift." Silence filled the room. The children looked at Aryan with a mix of anger and helplessness, but no one spoke a word. Everyone knew Aryan was stubborn. No one could go against him. And this was not the first time. Whenever someone had a new lunch, Aryan would take half of it. Sometimes he took a candy, sometimes a ball. The children were tired of him, but his tricks and smartness always won. Just then, the classroom door opened. The teacher came in. His eyes went straight to Aryan. Aryan's heart started beating fast. He thought he was about to be punished badly, but the teacher's voice was calm. He called Aryan closer and said, "Son Aryan, you are smart, intelligent, and you always do well in exams. But one bad habit can destroy you: greed." The whole class gathered around. The happy atmosphere turned serious. Aryan stood quietly, his eyes looking down. The teacher sat down and said, "Today I'll tell you an old story. If you listen carefully, you'll understand by yourself where greed can take a person." The children went silent. Aryan hesitated, then asked softly, "Which story, sir?" The teacher smiled. "The story of a dog." The children gasped. Some laughed, others became curious. The room became still. The teacher began. At the edge of a forest, there once lived a hungry dog. For many days, he found nothing to eat. He walked here and there, weak and tired. At last, he reached a village. From a butcher's shop came the delicious smell of fresh meat. The butcher was busy and the meat was left alone. The starving dog could not stop himself anymore. He jumped, grabbed a big piece of meat, and ran away. The dog's joy had no limits. He thought to himself, "Now I'll sit in a corner and eat as much as I want." He ran and ran until he came to a river bank. The water was clear like a mirror. The dog, with the meat tightly in his mouth, looked down. And then he stopped. In the water he saw his own shadow. But to him it looked like another dog, and that dog also had a piece of meat in its mouth. Not only that, the meat looked bigger than his own. The dog's eyes filled with greed. He thought, "If I take that other piece, I will have 2 pieces. Then life will be full of food." So he opened his mouth to bark and catch it. But the moment he opened his mouth, his own piece of meat fell from his jaws, dropped into the water, and floated away. Now the dog stood with an empty mouth. Only his shadow remained in the water. Too late he understood. Greed had fooled him. It had taken away what he already had. The story ended. The classroom was silent. Every child sat without moving, eyes fixed on the teacher. The teacher looked at Aryan and said gently, "Son Aryan, this is greed. The one who always looks at others' things finally loses what he already has. If the dog had been satisfied, he would have eaten well, but greed left him with nothing. The words touched Aryan's heart deeply. He remembered all his actions, taking things from his friends, asking for food with stubbornness. He felt as if he was that same dog who lost everything because of greed. Tears filled Aryan's eyes. In a shaking voice he said, "Sir, I understand now. I will never be greedy again. I will be happy with what I already have." The teacher smiled, put his hand on Aryan's shoulder and said, "Well done, my son. That is real success." From that day on, Aryan changed. Instead of taking from others, he started to share his own things happily. The children were surprised. Aryan had become their true friend. So friends, this story teaches us, greed makes you lose even what you already have, but contentment brings true peace, happiness, and respect. That was today's story. We'll meet again with another inspiring lesson only on Tales by Manish. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Thank you for being a part of this journey.